Am I the only one that dreams of one day being kidnapped by a serial killer? I know it sounds crazy, but studying the inner workings of their mind can only do so much. I need firsthand experience here. Don't worry, once I get kidnapped, I have a plan to escape. I mean, who can say no to this cute face, my persuasive techniques, and something I like to call the big guns? Today, we'll go over the 3 basic steps you need to confront your personal serial killer, also known as fear. So, welcome to Hiding Away from Murderers. First, we'll get you a cute face by looking at how fear is used to control you throughout your childhood. Next, we'll form our persuasive techniques by looking at the societal expectations that cause fear in everyday life. And finally, we'll pull out the big guns and remind our serial killer the only thing to fear is fear itself. See, I should give you a small content warning. My speech can get a little gory and gruesome at times, and you may have to hear a few killer puns. Before we go into all the specifics, I'm going to give you some major details. Seeing how fear is controlled in the brain. First, the prefrontal cortex and hippocampus perceive the threat relating it to past experiences. Then, the amygdala activates the fight or flight response, which includes increasing the breathing and heart rate, pumping blood to all of the muscles, and giving the bloodstream a healthy dose of adrenaline. See, fear is just a series of commands and responses in your brain, but it can be used for so much more. When we picture our stereotypical serial killer, we think of that white, middle-aged male who looks at us just a bit too long. We forget about people such as Jesse Pomeroy, America's youngest serial killer, who killed 9 people before the age of 12. He manipulated the children of Boston to follow him into the woods before tying them to a tree and killing them. We've constantly been manipulated in our lives in a much less gruesome way. You were taught who to be and how to act through fear, and you learned what to fear through your own experiences and stories of the experiences of others. See, these stories that we were given that taught us what to fear is called threat information. Professor of Quantitative Methods Andy Field and his associate Hannah Schroeder put this to the test. They gave children of ages 6 to 9 no information, positive information, or threat information about a series of animals. Then the children were asked to put their hands in a box which they could not see inside, which contained some of these animals. When approached with a threat animal, the children exhibited physical and mental signs of fear, increasing their heart rate and breathing. These children full-heartedly believed that the animals were in the boxes and that they were potentially harmful. The naivety of the children led them to trust these adults in such things, and they created their own type of fear, which can be good in some cases, as we teach children to fear being disrespectful or dishonest. But it can also create lifelong phobias and anxiety disorders. See, the people of Massachusetts thought they could use this method on Jesse Pomeroy. After he was convicted of the first 7 murderers, he was sent to a reform school. When released, he murdered 2 more people. See, the adults of Massachusetts believed that they could scare him into compliance, but you cannot scare somebody who loves fear so much. Now, you know what's even scarier than 1 murder? 2. Myra Hindley and Ian Brady were a couple of killers. The married couple worked together as Myra put on the helpless female personality, and Ian used this to lure victims into the woods before executing them. Yeah, Ian full-heartedly believed that whether his actions were good or evil is for others to decide. See, Ian, me, and the rest of society have come together and discovered that you killing all those people was just definitely an evil action. He is right in a way. The will and the ideas of society form what is determined as good or evil. See, we have to follow society because we have a fear of stepping off the path. We walk through life searching to stay in the indistinct lines that society has granted us. Best-selling mystery author Rita Brown states, "The result for conformity is being liked by everyone but ourselves. We will push aside our morals and our interest to serve those who we see as greater than us. We call this respect, but really we just turn away who we truly are so that we can appease society as a whole. We learned that ostracism is the result of an opposing opinion, so we will give up what truly makes us ourselves so we can fit in with the crowd. We have a fear of being separated from the council of peers that we so crave, so we will lose pieces of ourself in our mind to this fear. The only way for you to get yourself back is to distinguish what this fear is in your life. Ian Brady and Myra Hindley were discovered after various murders, and they had souvenirs as pictures and clothing items and videos. They narrowly missed the death penalty and were given lifetimes in prison, but their legacy still lives on, as Ian Brady wrote an autobiography and gave the police a series of clues to find Keith Benning's body. Like us, we must find that fear, that body of fear in our own life before we can come to peace. Now, another thing that we're going to do is pull out those special big guns. Automated weaponry is not usually the preferred choice of serial killers because they enjoy the hands-on contact, but it's an easy way to kill and fast. Stephen Port was not one of those people who used automated weaponry. He had something much more dangerous, a database containing thousands of potential victims. He posed as an ex-Navy special ed teacher on the app Grindr, which gave him access to a few thousand people just wanting to go on a date. He then drugged, raped, and it escalated to killing them at certain times. See, he had access to all of these people from a single app, not even one of the most common ones. Now we look at Instagram and Facebook. They time how long you're on each post and push out what they think your interests are. You may think, oh, free entertainment, it's fine. But as can be seen from the Netflix documentary, Social Dilemma, Facebook and Instagram have the power to make or break companies. They have the power to sway political decisions, to form the morals of entire generations. They control the information given to a large mass of people and can do so with just a click of a button. Who gave them the power to do such a thing? You may think, oh, I'm better. I've learned. I know these things aren't true that I see on Instagram, Facebook, and these other sites. But what about those who don't? What about those whose opinions are fully determined by these greater hands controlling what they see? They have psychiatrists look at how images ignite different parts of the brain to determine what can affect us more as a people. They take these empty people and form them to be who they want to be. And that is truly terrifying. I worry for those who are not scared of these larger companies, because at least fear is a warning. And without a warning, there will just be utter chaos. Stephen Port was finally discovered after a sister of one of the victims persuaded the police to go after him. And he was found with pictures of 83 victims. All of these people were hurt by him. And a single person had to push the police. As a society, we need to push so that these larger powers are ended. We can't have 83 million victims. We need to stop it. So Stephen Port ended his online rampage as the Grindr killer. And we need to end their rampage as well. With all this talk about serial killers, I probably should mention my first victim. See, this here is Dr. Bones. Yes, he was dead in a plastic skeleton when I got him, but I have dropped him a few times. Just as he was formed with screws and bolts, we've been formed by stories of what to fear. Next, he was ostracized from society as he was deemed not human or something like that. And finally, from the outskirts of society, he determined that there was something so much greater that each of us should fear. See, he told all of this to me because he believed that once I got kidnapped, I'd be dead. But cute face, my persuasive techniques, and the big guns. The wall between life and death is thin, let your fear be a part of what knocks it down. Fear can be a tool as well as a weapon. Use it well.